What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So if you're new here, my name is Dominique Pancake and welcome to today's video. Now, if you're not new here and you're like, what is different about this setup? That's right, you guys, I got a new lens and we kind of changed up my lighting a little bit and I am honestly shook by the results, you guys. Like, I can actually focus on products. Let me get a product. Here's a green tea. It will actually focus on this now. Like, wow, can we just appreciate that? Like, before when I would hold up products, it would be like really difficult for you guys to see. So I'm honestly so happy that you guys can actually see the products that I'm using now. Anyways, enough rambling about my new setup. I just really hope you guys enjoy the quality of this video and know that I put a lot of work and effort to kind of finally get this quality. So I really hope you guys like it. Anyways, I am so excited for today's video because I am doing a full, and when I say full, I mean my first like in-depth full review of a product. We are going to be going through the Lunar Beauty Life's a Drag palette. This is a little dirty, so just don't mind her. So if you guys didn't already know, this is the Lunar Beauty Life's a Drag palette. This is the one and only here on YouTube, Manny MUA's makeup brand. He came out with this palette kind of inspired by the drag community because that's really what got him involved in the beauty world. So I'm really excited to kind of give you guys my thoughts on the palette. We're going to go through swatches. I'm going to go through each individual shade and tell you guys how it has been working for me. We're going to do a little eye test, and then at the end of the video I will tell you guys if I think it is worth the money. So if that all sounds perfect and dandy to you guys, then just keep on watching. Okay, you guys, so I did prime my eyelids off camera with the one and only, where is it? I can't find it. But the one and only It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer. This stuff is truly life-changing. If you have dry eyelids, I highly recommend. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into some background information on this palette. Like I said, this is Manny MUA's first product launch with Lunar Beauty. Now, just to kind of quickly give you guys the tea, I think Manny did an incredible job on this palette. To quickly go over everything, there are 11 mattes, I believe, and 3 shimmer shades. Well, these two are kind of like 2 real shimmer shades, and then this one's kind of like a semi shimmer. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the packaging real quick. As y'all know, on this channel I am a sucker for packaging. Now, this honestly I think could be better. The outside, like the packaging that it comes in, could be better in my opinion. It feels a little bit basic. I mean, it's got this really cool metallic and then it's got the little logo on it, but I just think that, I don't know, I think I'm being a little bit biased because I'm so obsessed with this packaging, and I just wish he would have put this packaging on the outer packaging as well, if that makes sense. Just because I feel like this design, like these are his eyes and this look is absolutely stunning. I feel like this design on the outside just sells. It's a huge marketing point for me to see this on the outside. It just looks incredible. Now, as you can tell, it does have this holographic look to it, and I absolutely love that. It just kind of gives that extra pizzazz to the palette. And then you go ahead and open it up, and this is what it looks like. I do have a little bit of a problem with the inner portion of the palette, and I'll tell you why. This mirror, in my opinion, is just too small. Like, this packaging around the mirror seems pointless to me when he could have just made the mirror bigger. Because this mirror is so small, it's almost pointless for me to use. I understand, like, oh, it's got this cute design behind it. I think Laura Lee kind of went in that direction as well. But in my opinion, I would prefer a bigger mirror opposed to this like cutesy packaging around the mirror, if that makes sense. As for the placement of the shadows, I know there was a lot of speculation with this particular setup. People were saying that he kind of copied Sugar Pill Cosmetics. He said that people were saying that he copied kind of their look with the color shadows. Here for the tea on YouTube, she debunked that theory, so if you guys want to check that out, I will link that down below. But she did debunk that theory. It is completely false. In my opinion, he set up these shadows in the absolute perfect way in terms of aesthetic. I love how you have all your colors on one end of the palette and then you have your neutrals on the other end. You have your shimmers in the middle, and then you of course have your white and black shade on the edge. I think this is just very clean, very aesthetically pleasing. The palette did come with a brush. I have not even, as you guys can see, I haven't even opened this brush yet just because I'm not really interested in brushes that come with palettes, 9 out of 10 times, they're not really worth it. I have my distinct brushes that I always use, and I kind of always gravitate towards those brushes. So this honestly is just kind of like, oh cool, another basic brush. Okay, now that we kind of have the gist of the packaging, the overall aesthetic of the palette, how many mattes, how many shimmer shades, all of that good stuff, I'm trying to decide if I should do the look first and then tell you guys my opinions on each shade, or do my opinions on the shade and then the Let's do the look first, and then after I complete the look, I will tell you guys my thoughts on each individual shade, because I have played around with this palette I think 8 times now, so I do have a very good understanding of how the palette works and which shades are worth it and which shades are not worth it. Okay, so just a spoiler alert, I prefer the color shades in this palette opposed to the neutrals, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be dipping into the color shades. Okay, I'm going to dip into the shade Campy, which is the yellow shade in the palette, and I think I'm going to put this towards the inner portion of my eye. I don't think I really need to tell y'all, but that yellow shade is honestly one of my favorite shades in the palette. It is so pigmented and it really truly blends so seamlessly. That goes for honestly all of the color shades in this palette except for one, which I will get into later. But yeah, the color shades in this palette are unmatched. I really gravitate towards this side of the palette. Alright, now I'm going to go into the pink shade Kai Kai. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and go back into that yellow shade just to mix these two together more seamlessly. Each time that I've worked with these shadows, with the yellow and the pink particularly, they've created this beautiful orange shade when I mix them, and it's so gorgeous. You don't even need an orange in the palette because it creates this beautiful seamless ombre effect, and I love it. Okay, now that we have this nice and seamlessly blended, I'm gonna go ahead and get into the shade Fishy. This is definitely one of my favorite shades in the palette. It's this beautiful, like, semi-metallic blue, and I'm just gonna pack that in the outer corner. Like, I know this looks ridiculous, but it's just a true representation of how pigmented that shade is. Oh god, I honestly got way too much. Gonna pick some more Kai Kai up and try to blend those together. I have been pretty stupid this whole video. I'm gonna zoom you guys in so you can really see what's going on. Oh, one moment. Okay, you guys, I went ahead and did the other eye off camera. I was having major camera difficulties. Hopefully, we're on the clear with that. Like, as soon as I get a good setup, it starts acting up. Okay, Canon. So yeah, we already went through Campy, Kai Kai, and Fishy. Fishy kind of disappeared and turned into the purple shade. Completely on accident, but I'm kind of living for it, so whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and do Kiki. We got some tea for Kiki. But I'm gonna do Kiki and the purple shade, which is Pageant Queen, on the lower lash line. So let's go ahead and do that. Kiki is the one shade in the palette that I have a little bit of trouble with. I think I do remember in Manny's launch video, him discussing the palette, that Kiki was like meant to not be as pigmented as the other shades, but in my opinion, like, I don't see the purpose of it not being pigmented. I would prefer it to be like the other shadows, but we're gonna go ahead and do it. Like, she's cute, but she takes a lot of building up to get the pigmentation that I want. It's definitely not a shade that I like to work with when I'm blending a lot. So for example, I would never ever use this shade in my crease because you are doing so much blending that it kind of gets faded away. And I made that mistake the first time playing with the palette, and I was not a happy camper. It's definitely just a shade that you kind of have to be patient with. As you guys can see, like, it doesn't look bad, but it does get blended away easily, and it's definitely not as pigmented as the other shades. But sis, when we get her built up, she ain't playing no games. Okay, Kiki. Okay, so now I'm gonna go into the shade Pageant Queen and just focus this on the outer V portion of the eye and kind of blend that together with Kiki. Alright, there you guys have it. A full look using the Lunar Beauty Life's a Drag palette. Whew. I'm so happy with this look. A beautiful, colorful, smoky eye. Sis, we truly did that. Truly. Alright, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and pop on some mascara and some lashes off camera, and I will be right back. Did I low-key go off on this look? I think I did. Like, this is fire, you guys, and it's all on the palette. I'm telling you guys, spoilers everywhere. This palette, fire. I definitely feel like Rocio right now with my little stars that I added. I just was like feeling it, you guys. I almost went with a nude lip, and I was like, no girl, you got to go bold. So I went with the Too Faced Melted Matte. This is in the shade Unicorn, and I really feel like it just completed the look, so wow. Okay, now you guys definitely can tell how the palette performs. It blends like a dream. They're super pigmented, and honestly the colors are all that I care about in this palette. Like, the colors are incredible. So yeah, you guys definitely see how it performs, and now I'm just gonna go into each shade and kind of give you guys my thoughts. And I am gonna go through swatches, but I'm gonna give you guys a heads up immediately. This palette does not swatch as nicely as most palettes. It's definitely more so in the blending and how they apply on the eyes. So I am going to do swatches for those of you who want to see them, but just please keep in mind that they definitely apply better than they swatch. So I'm gonna go get Alex, and he's gonna be our little swatch tester for the day. So I will be right back. Okay, so I zoomed you guys in so you could see the swatches on our assistant here.
Hi.
But how I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna do the white, the black, the neutrals, the colors, and then all the shimmers. So yeah, that's how it's gonna be. You ready?
Yeah.
This is the white shade in the shade Cake Face. One thing I will say about these palettes is that they do feel like really chalky, which I hate. They're not that really nice buttery feeling.
Holy crap.
That one swatched really nicely, wow. That is the shade Shady. Just quick intermission to tell you guys I'm the worst at swatching, so don't take these serious. That is the palette swatch. By far the best swatching color is this black. But yeah, like I said, you guys, they do not swatch as nicely as they apply. Okay, you guys, so in terms of the colors, I am really happy with almost every color choice in this palette. There are two exceptions that I'm just like, I wish there was something different. Those shades are going to be the shades Hunty right here, and the shade Kiki, which you guys already heard my ramble about earlier. It's just not as pigmented as the other colorful shades. So I just wish it was something either more pigmented or a different color. Now the reason I don't like the shade Hunty is just because I think it's a little bit too cool toned for my liking. I have used this palette like 7-8 times now, and I've yet to gravitate really towards that shade. I usually go for Sickening as my transition, and then I jump straight into Trade or Mug, kind of skip Hunty completely just because it's too cool toned. And honestly, it's not picking up as cool toned on camera as it is in real life. Other than those two shades, I'm really happy with each shade in this palette. I do, if I had any modification whatsoever, I do wish that Snatched was a more vivid color. It's kind of dulled down a little bit. It's not as bright as you would expect. So I do wish that one was a little bit more vibrant, more pigmented, not more pigmented, just more colorful, vibrant, saturated, instead of this dulled down color that he has going on, just because I prefer more colorful rainbow looks. I know a lot of people don't like those, so this would be a good color for you guys because you can use it in a more like very toned look rather than the rainbow look that I like. One problem a lot of people had with this palette is the fact that there are only 2 or 3 shimmer shades. In my opinion, I am so happy with that decision because I would much rather a palette that has all mattes rather than a palette that is simply dominated by shimmers. I prefer matte shades over shimmers any day of the week, so that is why it's so important for me to have really nice pigmented matte shades rather than the oil produced shimmer shades that swatch really nicely but end up really chunky and not nice. I am really happy with that decision. If you are looking for a palette that does have more shimmer shades, then this probably isn't the palette for you, because these two shimmer shades in my opinion are nothing really special. I don't mean that in a mean way, just because these are shades that you probably already have in your collection. I mean, it's a pink champagne color and like this golden shimmer shade. So if you're looking for shimmer shades, I would pass on this palette. But if you're looking for a new palette to add to your collection, something that can give you color, that can give you neutrals, that can give you basically everything you need in a palette, I would highly recommend. I think it retails for $45, which in my opinion is a really good deal, and I'll tell you why. This palette is one that I, honest to God, could take on vacation and just create looks off of this palette. I know that is not the case for everyone, because not everyone gravitates towards the color shades like I do, but there are warm tone neutral shades in the palette to kind of provide that everyday glam look for those of you who prefer that. I really love this palette. I've used it, like I said, 7 or 8 times now, and I've created very drastically different looks each time. But overall, I really appreciate this palette. I think Manny did a terrific job, especially because this is his first launch. Okay guys, so let's just go ahead and get into my final thoughts. I have had so many technical difficulties with this video, so if it's looking a little weird, that's why, you guys. I'm really sorry. Okay, so final thoughts. I definitely think that overall this palette is a home run, especially considering this is Manny's first product launch. I think he did really good at formulating the shadows. I do wish they were a little bit more velvety, buttery to the touch, but honestly, they're going on my face. I'm not touching them all over my hands all day, so really what's that matter? So yeah, for $45, it does give you guys a wide range of shades to work with, and I definitely think that you would be happy if you spent your money on this palette. For the future of Lunar Beauty, I would love to see him incorporate a rainbow palette. I know he incorporated a lot of color in this palette, especially for his first launch. Most people go the neutral, burgundy, glam, everyday glam type palette, so I'm really pleased to see him incorporate more color into a first launch. But I would love, like obsess, if he would create a all rainbow colorful palette. It's what the people want, Manny. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you have this palette, if you're thinking about purchasing the palette, and how it works for you guys. I really hope you guys liked this video, and I promise I will come back and hopefully all my technical difficulties will be gone. So do not forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!